Yes, good evening, dear friends. Welcome all of you in the last lecture of today's session.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
It's already 6:40, so we will start.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah, last time we have covered limbic system. So now today we will begin hypothalamus, specific functions of hypothalamus, and hypothalamus is controlling which systems of the body. Okay. So come to the page number 170.
Recording in progress.
Hypothalamus. Structure of hypothalamus is well described in the chapter of endocrine glands. Actually, I think you have covered that endocrine means system maybe in the last year, I think, last semester. Or hormonal system, endocrine system. So all the hormones are released from different glands of the body because of the anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary function. So some hormones which are stimulating hormones, which gives the stimulus to secrete the different hormones from the different body parts, body glands. But the actual stimulus is even anterior and posterior pituitary receives the stimulus from hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is having that hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vessel, and through which it gives the stimulus to release different types of hormones which are stimulating in nature, which dissolves in the blood, and through blood those comes to the targeted glands, and then targeted gland is being stimulated so that it release its required hormones in the blood. That's the system. For example, suppose we require some thyroid hormones. Thyroid gland is situated in neck here, and if by the negative feedback mechanism some thyroid hormone is required for some digestion purpose or something like that, so if it is not there in the blood, then what happens? It sends the efferent impulses to the brain that this hormone is required in the blood for that particular function of digestion or whatever. So that impulse goes to the brain and it reaches to the hypothalamus first. And hypothalamus, according to that signal, it stimulates to the anterior or posterior pituitary, so that pituitary function, it releases some stimulating hormone, that is thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, which is secreted by posterior pituitary. So that pituitary secretes the thyroid stimulating hormone, which is flows into the blood, dissolves into blood, and through blood it reaches to its target organ, which thyroid gland. So, and that posterior part of the thyroid gland releases the T3 and T4 hormones. These are the thyroid hormones. So it releases the T3 and T4, and which mixes into the blood again, which causes further action of it, like a digestion or something like that. Okay. So like that, there are various hormones stimulating in nature, stimulating hormones, which are secreted by the pituitary gland, anterior pituitary as well as posterior part of the pituitary, and which is under control of the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus has two controls. One is the endocrine system pole, as well as both the nucleus of autonomic nervous system. Both the nucleus means what? One is afferent and afferent, means sensory and motor, all the thing. Okay, we will see this come to the page number 173, little description, and then we will go to these diagrams okay, sympathetic and parasympathetic, are members of hypothalamus. The reactions of both endocrine system and autonomic nervous system depend on chemical elements, organic, but also with cerebral cortex, thalamus, and with the reticular formation of the brain stem. Hypothalamus is related with all the activities of body, either directly or indirectly. Every activity in the body is controlled under hypothalamus. Okay. So first we will cover up this descriptive part up to the next page, and then we will understand this whole diagrams, both the diagrams. Okay, the following functions are there of the hypothalamus. So first is, it is the controller of autonomic nervous system, limbic system, and endocrine system. Okay, everything. Second, it regulates the cardiovascular system also, CVS, heart related. In every difficult situation, it regulates tachycardia, bradycardia, and also the flow of blood. Becoming pink, red in anger, white yellow due to fear, are not only proverbs but the results of reactions of cardiovascular system, which is controlled by hypothalamus according to the situation. Okay, these are the emotions actually, fear or any thing, worry, any emotion, anger, any emotion, due to which the blood vessels constrict or dilate, and according to that our cheeks become red or pink, like that. So it is mentioned here. Third is, it brings changes in body organs by reflection according to the emotions. According to the emotions, whatever changes happen into the body, like sweating, sometimes fearing emotion, anything which are related to the limbic system, capillaries, and sweat glands, which help to regulate temperature. Shivering. Shivering is a process which help to maintain temperature, is also controlled by the hypothalamus. Means to give the stimulus to the sweating at the time of tachycardia or anything happens emotionally. That is under the control of, even shivering, trembling. Everything is under control of hypothalamus. Then fourth is hunger, and it is satiation. Hunger and satiation means it is called as a hunger center and satiety center. Satiety center, satiation. Satiation means satisfaction, at level of satisfaction. That is satiation. Hunger means hungry. The center of both these are present in hypothalamus. Scientists believe that sensory glucoreceptors, there are some sensory glucoreceptors which are situated in the hypothalamus. Why these are glucoreceptors? Means glucoreceptors gives the assimilation, facilitates the assimilation of glucose, because brain generally requires wait a minute. Hello. Okay, sorry for your inconvenience. So this hunger and satiety, that glucoreceptors gives the satiation, satisfaction, and whole brain requires the energy from glucose. It takes the energy from glucose only. These receptors create the feeling of hunger if glucose level is low, and feeling of satisfaction when glucose levels becomes normal. Okay. Now here is a question, that why a person suffering with diabetes mellitus feel hunger all the time though he has a high blood sugar level? The reason is absence of insulin in blood. Due to that, glucose do not enter into the cells, and so these hungry cells keep on sending message to hypothalamus, and which make these sensory glucose receptors active all the day, and that's why he is become becoming hungry every time. Okay, these receptors are, because of these receptors, glucose is not entering inside the cells. Okay, then hunger and satiation. Next, 6 is thirst. Sensation of thirst is also because of this hypothalamus. Our body is made up of 60% of water, out of which 40% is intracellular water, means between two cells, and 20% is extracellular water, including blood. And when there is decrease in level of this 20% of water, the osmoreceptors become active and person will feel thirst. Okay, when this water level decrease by 20%, then we feel osmoreceptors of the brain are activated and person will feel the thirst sensation. So we drink water. These all the centers, thirst center, hunger center, satisfaction means satiety center or satiation, these all are belong to under the control of hypothalamus. Then next is biological clock. What is mean biological clock? It is the daily routine, daily rhythm, biological clock, in which time I have to wake. Means everybody has its own different settings of this daily routine. At 6 o'clock I have to wake, like that, everything. So 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock I have to take fast, 12 or 1 o'clock in the noon I have to take lunch, everything to pass the urine at least 5 to 6 times, 7 times. That is one schedule. When to pass the stool, that everything is called as a biological setup or clock. In every person body, some works always happen in the rhythm.
Video is paused.
Okay, video is paused. Now it's okay. Is it okay now?
Still breaking, sir. Only audio is clear.
It's breaking. Yeah, actually we have light issue today, and that's why our Wi-Fi is not working. This is only mobile data. Somehow I connected.
Okay, sir. Audio is clear.
Sorry, audio is clear, no? Okay then. So this some always happen in the rhythm. For example, feeling of hunger, feeling of motion, awakening at morning, sleeping at night. This biological clock is related to the limbic system, which is under control of hypothalamus again. Okay, then 8 is it creates a feeling of or making sexual relation. Okay, that feelings are also the part of this hypothalamus. 9, it creates a feeling of motherhood in mother and produce milk in her breast. Yeah, when child cries, that time breast milk automatically comes. That is the process under the control of hypothalamus again. Okay. So now we will come to the these diagrams only on page number 171 again. Okay. So here it will be clear. Little more functions have given here, and those are hypothalamus. It is having hypophyseal portal vessel at one side and the tract on the other side. See, releasing and inhibitory factors on one side and hormones on the second side. This is anterior pituitary function or adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is the part of pituitary gland. The front part of the pituitary gland is called as the adenohypophysis, and the backside part of the pituitary gland is called as the neurohypophysis. Okay. Now there are two neurons, means two type of hormones, that is supraoptic and paraventricular. Supraoptic part of the neurohypophysis of pituitary gland is secreting ADH hormone, ADH, which you have already studied, I think, in your endocrine system or hormonal system. that is posterior pituitary, that is antidiuretic hormone. Okay, and the second one is oxytocin hormone, which is released by paraventricular area of the neurohypophysis. Now, anterior pituitary or adipophysis secretes this following part. It is having this preoptic nuclei, which secretes the lateral part of it secretes the PIF, prolactin inhibiting factor, and MIF, melanocyte inhibiting factor. Okay, and medial part secretes FSH, that is FSS releasing factor and FSS inhibiting factor. One is releasing factor, one is inhibiting factor. Every system is having this negative feedback and positive feedback system in that. Suppose my stomach is, I am now eating, and after say 15-20 minutes, if I ate 2-3 chapatis, then my stomach is getting full. So my satiation center, my satiety center stimulates, and it gives the impulse to that hypothalamus that now I have to stop eating. So it sends the impulses, and now I got bored with the, even your if you like gulab jam too much, even though you have been offered some gulab jam at that time, you will not able to eat, because your satiation center had already sends the impulse, and now you are satisfied. And one is opposite to that. When after 3, 4, 5 hours, then my stomach becomes empty, then again stomach sends some impulses, that is positive feedback. It gives the stimulation to the hypothalamus that I am hungry, I feel hunger, so I have to eat something. Then that is called as a positive feedback. Negative and positive. Inhibiting center, it inhibits, don't eat now, it inhibits. And the releasing center, inhibiting and releasing center. Now the second nuclei is suprachiasmatic nuclei. It releases TSH releasing factor. Then anterior nuclei concerned with the parasympathetic activities. Okay, it gives the corticotropin releasing factor and corticotropin releasing inhibiting factor. Okay, posterior nuclei concerned with the sympathetic activities. Medial nuclei, dorsomedial and ventromedial, both are function not known. Lateral nuclei, growth hormone releasing factor and growth hormone releasing inhibiting factor. Don't release now, like growth hormone releasing inhibiting factor. The arcuate nuclei works with the limbic system, and mammillary nuclei, that is premammillary, medial mammillary, supramammillary, and lateral mammillary, works with the limbic system again. This is the functions of hypothalamus with anterior part and posterior part of the pituitary gland fold, that is adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So this is almost given in the endocrine system. I have seen that also. I think yeah, this is was it there in your last semester syllabus?
Yes.
It's a 9th chapter, I think. 9th chapter.
It was there.
Yes, sir. It was there, sir.
It was there. Yeah, correct. 9th chapter, 10th chapter, these are 9th chapter is completely based. Core functions as given there. Yeah, on page number 88, 89, feedback mechanism. Yes, everything is given there. Correct. Okay, then now we'll see the that diagram on page number 172. The hypothalamus, its whole all functions are being described here. So the master hypothalamus is called as the master of endocrine orchestra or the chairman of limbic system. Correct? It has afferent and efferent, both the impulses, neurons. The afferent are working for limbic cortex, hypothalamus, hippocampus, amygdala, frontal cortex, area number 6 and 8, globus pallidus, thalamus, dorsomedial and midline nuclei, and the reticular formation and retina. These afferent impulses from, okay, afferent impulses from these organs come to the hypothalamus. And afferent impulses, which are going from the thalamus, hypothalamus to the different parts, which are the thalamus, anterior nuclei, then dorsomedial nucleus, midbrain tegmentum, reticular formation, frontal cortex, and posterior pituitary. These all impulses are going from hypothalamus. Okay, afferent and efferent. These are the functions of hypothalamus. Now, they have mentioned almost 15 different functions. It controls the anterior pituitary and posterior secretions of posterior pituitary, okay, which we have already seen just now. The third one is control of adrenal cortex. Where is the adrenal cortex situated? Anybody from you? What is meant by adrenal cortex?
Kidney, sir.
Yeah, perfect.
Above kidney.
Above kidney.
Yeah, above kidney there is a gland which is called as
Adrenal. Adrenal.
correct, adrenal gland. Yeah, adrenal gland. It has two parts, just like a brain, same like a brain. That's why kidney is also called as a small brain. According to TCM, there is one axis when the child is in the embryology. It is when child develops in the womb of a mother. That time one axis first develops. That axis is kidney, heart, and brain. One axis. So brain is having cortex and inside medulla. Okay, just like that, kidney is also having cortex. The upper part is cortex and inside the medulla. Medulla and cortex. These are the same. Okay, then adrenal medulla also it controls. Then fifth is regulation of autonomic nervous system, which just now we have seen, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Then sixth is the regulation of heart, which we have seen just now. All this tachycardia, bradycardia, and all the functions of heart. Then regulation of blood pressure,
Sir, which page
regulation of
number,
body
sir?
temperature, regulation of food intake.
172.
It's
The picture.
172. Yeah, that picture. The functions of are described here. You have to know, you have to remember these functions only. These are very short and very easy to remember. These 15 functions. If question is asked, describe the functions of the hypothalamus or any. I think this course is having multiple choice questions. I think all the questions are in a multiple choice form. 4 options are there. So if you will know these functions, 15 functions, so any 1 or 2 or 3 they can ask. Now, like body temperature is under the regulation of ... So medulla, hypothalamus, cortex, means cerebral cortex.
What do you
or
mean by
spinal
control
cord.
of? What do you mean by control of adrenal cortex or adrenal medulla? What we do and how it is controlled?
Adrenal cortex.
Yes. And medulla.
Yeah, adrenal. Yeah, just now we have seen just before one on 171 page number, we have seen a diagram. Na? So through that means the hypothalamus is control the posterior as well as anterior part of the pituitary gland, correct? And pituitary gland is the boss, the controlling mechanism of all the glands in the body. So adrenal gland is also a part of a body system, a gland. It is a gland, adrenal gland, through which means its adrenal gland have two parts: adrenal cortex, the upper part, and adrenal medulla, the inner part. So
So can you
is
give the
an
reflex
of
function kind of like ordinary person
reflex function.
who understands what is the action the body does and how hypothalamus controls?
Yeah. So which hormones adrenal gland is secreting from your side? Type of hormones are secreted gland. Semester syllabus. See, these are glucocorticoids and adrenocorticotropin hormone. Glucocorticoid, androgen. These are secreted by adrenal cortex. Okay. So to secrete those hormones into the blood, as per their requirement, they require some stimulus. Cortex part of requires some stimulus, and that stimulus is getting from the posterior part of the through adrenotropic hormone. So it releases and it gives the stimulus to that particular gland, the part adrenal, and then it releases hormone in the body. That is the glucocorticoids, androgen hormone, more quantity in the blood, then it this network issue, too much network issues there. Well, hello, am I audible?
Yes, now for some time you are not audible. Now you are audible.
It's a network issue. It's a unstable network, it is saying. Wait a minute, I have to connect with the different mobile. Hey, Gaurangi, can you give me different mobile? Yeah, mother's mobile you can bring. Please bring it fast. Because only one is not enough, I think. Hmm. Yeah, no. It's audible now. Okay. Extremely sorry. This is too much network issue today. So, somebody has asked one thing: negative reflex and positive reflex of the adrenal cortex. Have you understood this, or should I repeat again?
No need, no need. Thank you.
So, then the blood pressure regulation, body temperature, food intake, water intake, sleep and wakefulness, and all daily rhythm. Then behavior and emotion, regulation of sexual functions, role in circadian rhythm, that is biological clock, circadian rhythm, and role in smell response to any smelling sensation. So these are the different functions of the body under the control of hypothalamus. Okay, then come to the next diagram on the page number 174. It has given all the parts of the cortex, medulla, then midbrain, hindbrain, and the spinal cord. It has described. You can see that every part we have already covered in description. Then on page number 175, one muscle tone and paralysis. They have mentioned muscle tone and paralysis. Fact is, except autonomic division of the nervous system and a part of cranial nerves, the whole nervous system governs the movement on joints. It is just mentioned, movements of the joints are under the control of all the nervous system. Okay. And muscle tone is the resistance of a muscle to stretch. This resistance property in a muscle is due to the constant gamma efferent discharge maintained with the help of proprioceptors, muscle spindle. Then it has given one positive and negative, afferent and afferent system, interneurons, that is negative. This is force feedback, that is positive feedback. Golgi tendons. We have seen the part of Golgi tendon is the part of the muscle and the tendon where they connect to each other everywhere in the body. Means the muscle mass come together to form a tendon. That part is called as the spindle, Golgi tendon, especially in the hamstring group of the muscles of the back of the leg, lower leg. Then it gives the positive alpha control signals, then positive, then from muscle, again force and load muscle length. If you are standing so long time, so it's a negative, muscle spindle are under the stress, so it gives the positive length and velocity feedback. That is the signal, different signals, how they are coming to the neurons, and through neurons how they are going up to the upper motor and lower motor, through lower motor up to the upper motor neurons. If the motor nerve or muscle is cut, the resistance to stretch property of the muscle is almost lost. Correct. If motor nerve is cut, then resistance to stretch is gone. Due to low rate of alpha afferent discharge, the muscle is said to be flaccid or hypotonic muscle. When the resistance to stretch of the muscle is more than normal due to hyperactivity of stretch reflex, that is high rate of gamma afferent discharge, the muscle is said to be spastic or hypertonic muscle. These two abnormalities are expressed in terms of paralysis. Okay. This is due to upper motor and lower motor neurons. If they are healthy or not healthy, that is being tested through this muscle test. Now come to the next page. We will see that is the cerebrum, the main part, the brain, which is situated in the cranial cavity. The forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, all the three parts, in which the forebrain is having this cerebrum part. Okay, we will see that. Brain controls the maximum body activities of a multicellular organism. The shape and size of brain in different mammals is different. For example, the brain of a rhesus monkey is 1/4 in a comparison to chimpanzee's brain, and the size of a chimpanzee's brain is 1/4 in a comparison to human beings. Though whales and elephants have the biggest and heaviest brain, but in comparison to body weight, their brains are lighter and smaller than the human brain. The weight of brain of an adult is 1400 grams. Okay, this you have to remember. 1400 gram is the maximum weight in the human beings of brain, which is situated in the cranial box. Okay, made up of the skull bone, the skull. But the brain floating in cranial box, because it floats in the cerebrospinal fluid. Inside brain, there is a, inside this skull, there is a cerebrospinal fluid part. And in that, the brain is floating, the front part of brain is floating. Cranial box in the cerebrospinal fluid, which weighs only 50 gram. Okay. Now come to the next page, that is 177. We will see this diagram later. In intrauterine baby, means when baby is 3 to 4 weeks, the brain develops in the form of ectodermal origin. Now you have to know the embryological development of the organism. In female uterus, when ovum and sperm gets together and they form one celled, two celled, then 4 cells, 8 cell structure, 16 cell structure, 32, 64, like it grows inside the uterus, and it forms 3 different layers. After cells connecting together, it becomes tissue connecting became layer. So 3 layered structure it forms first. One is ectoderm, The mesoderm is the middle part, and the endoderm. Endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm parts. So from that ectoderm layer of the tissues, which has 3 swollen parts, these 3 swollen organs produce these 3 parts. Which are they? That ectoderm part only, which is converted into in the development process in the embryo. That 3 parts are known as a prosencephalon, second is mesencephalon, and third is rhombencephalon. Prosencephalon, mesencephalon, and rhombencephalon. It is very easy. These are the embryological parts of the brain, same brain, but this is the embryological parts. That's why the term is different. Prosencephalon is nothing but the forebrain, the front side of the brain. That is prosencephalon. Simple. Okay. That is called as primary brain vesicles during the development, embryological development. And mesencephalon is the midbrain. We have seen that midbrain structure, midbrain. And rhombencephalon part is the hindbrain, backside, brainstem, hindbrain, backside. So these are nothing but the parts which are under the development process in the embryo, in the uterus of a mother. So these terms are different. So prosencephalon, which have 2 parts, telencephalon develops into 2 lateral cavities, and diencephalon develops into thalamus and hypothalamus. So thalamus or hypothalamus is the part of ... diencephalon, like that. Both of these together form cerebral hemisphere. That means this cerebral cortex, cerebrum, the main part of the brain, cerebrum, then this cerebellum, cerebrum, cerebellum. 2 different terms are there. Cerebrum, cerebellum. 2 half hemisphere connected to form cerebrum, means cerebral cortex full, and 2 half part connected to each other are cerebellum. Okay. So this telencephalon develops into the lateral cavities, 2 cavities, and diencephalon develops into thalamus and hypothalamus. Both these together form cerebral hemisphere. Now second part is mesencephalon, which develops into midbrain. Okay, mesencephalon, midbrain. And third is rhombencephalon, which is hindbrain, again, backside of the brain, hindbrain, the lateral part, the last part of the brain, the tail part of the brain. Rhombencephalon, hindbrain. First is metencephalon develops into pons. Now pons, medulla, and cerebellum. These are the part of the hindbrain. We have already seen that when we learned hindbrain. Hindbrain part are pons, medulla, and cerebellum. So metencephalon develops into pons, microencephalon develops into medulla, and both of these together develop the cerebellum. Okay. Cerebral hemisphere means cerebrum, upside, top, front part of the brain. Cerebral hemisphere is of different size and weight in different organisms. But in human, cerebral hemisphere is surrounded by 15 to 4.5 mm thick neuron layers, which is known as the cerebral cortex. See, this is adrenal cortex, this is cerebral cortex, correct? In kidney, there is a, in adrenal gland, there is an adrenal cortex. And there is also medullary part. In kidney also there is cortex and medulla, and in brain also cortex and medulla. This is cerebral cortex. The area of cerebral cortex keeps on spreading continuously from birth to adulthood. Okay. Its surface area is 4 times greater than cranial cavity. So it is made up of irregular sulci and gyri. What is meant by sulci and gyri? These are the folds of the brain. See, you can come to the next page first, 178. There are 2 diagrams mentioned, lateral view of the brain and the medial view of the brain. So they have put there some numbers. Those are the numbers of area. So Broca's area, these are called as the Broca's areas, different Broca's. One scientist, Broca, has given this name, areas, identified these areas. So these are the Broca's areas. So in between those areas, there are some lines. Those lines are called gyri and sulci. Okay, gyrus and sulcus. These are the folds, nothing but the folds of the different parts of the brain. Brain is just a soft, delicate part, delicate tissue, and it is having some folds inside that. So those folds are called as the gyri and sulci. Gyrus means single, sulcus means single. Gyri means multiple. It's a multiple form, and sulci means multiple sulcus. Generally, cortex is thinner in sulcus, whereas cortex is 4.5 mm thick in gyrus. Okay, gyrus folds are there. There are 4.5 mm thick cortex, and where there are sulcus part, it is thinner. Now we will see first the diagram on page number 176. Now you can see it has they have shown the lateral part. See, from nose, if you will cut the brain like this from back side, so half of the part is like this. So on the front side, means on the back side of the brain, means here on the back side, that mouth is open. Open mouth structure is on the back side. That is occipital part of the skull, back side. Then the thumb, all the fingers, then wrist, and then leg, then knee joint, then ankle joint, and the toes. It has shown in the diagram. Why? If you will learn the scalp acupuncture or scalp acupressure, scalp, there are so many points on the scalp which are very useful in the cases of paralysis. If somebody is having quadriplegia, paraplegia, these points are very important. So according to that, they are functioning. The brain functions of different parts are from these parts. So it's a very simpler form to remember. See, on the back side, or we will go from the front side. Front side, there are toes first. Means toes functions are there here. They are present here only. Toes functions, okay? From beginning, this part. Toes functions. Then ankle, then knee, then hip, then trunk, then shoulders, then elbow, then wrist, then hand, little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index, thumb, then neck, brow, okay, eyebrow. See, eye functions are that there on the back side of the brain here. If any problem is there on in the eye, we have to treat here like that. That is a part of a different system. But brain, inside the brain, this system means this part of the brain is working for the brows or eyelids and eyeball, then face, then lips, then jaw, tongue, and swallowing function. Then vocalization means this throat part. It is located on the last part of the brain, back part of the brain. This vocalization means uttering the sound, production of the sound. Vocalization and mastication. We have to chew some food. If some food is entering in the mouth, we have to masticate it. Mastication means cut the food into the smaller parts. Then salivation. This function is also controlled on the back side of the brain. Have you have to remember this orally only. This the front means the toes part begins from here, and the face or the swallowing part goes here on the back side of the brain. So these are the functions, and according to that, functional areas are divided. Now come to this diagram, 178 number page. Now according to that, different functions of the brain, different functions of the different part in the body are conducted by these brain parts. Now the whole brain with spinal cord is made up of two equal parts, and both the parts left and right are related to each other. The right half part and the left half part, both are related to each other. They are connected like this. Brain is like this only. See, both the hands keep together, put together like this. So this, like this brain is there. You might have seen that diagram in the Ayurvedic acupressure book, like this. So this is half part of the brain and this is half part of the brain. They are connected with each other with the corpus callosum. This and this part is connected of the brain. That is called as a corpus callosum. And this right part of the brain is related to the left part of the brain through this, and they are communicating with each other through this corpus callosum. Okay, like this brain is there here, two half hemispheres. So though brain is made up of two parts, but there is no partition wall is present between them. There is no partition wall. They are interconnected with each other. Except cerebral cortex part, the rest part of cerebrum is made up of white matter, that is axons and packing cells, which has following structures. Which are they now? Whole brain structures are mentioned here again. Thalamus, hypothalamus, clouded nucleus, which we have already studied. Backside, thalamus, hypothalamus, clouded nucleus, lentiform nucleus. Together they are known as corpus striatum. Then claustrum. This is the fifth part. We can see in the diagram the area wise. First number. Have you seen the first number? One number. One number in the lateral view. They have mentioned one number. In the lateral view.
The center
Are
part.
you able to see here? Where? Center
Yes, sir.
part. Correct. Yes. Central part. 1, 2, and 3. All the three areas there. Thalamus, hypothalamus, and caudate nucleus. This is the lateral view of the brain from this side. Maybe right lateral or left lateral. Lateral view of the brain. Means half cut section from this side. Lateral view. So there we get this 1, 2, 3 area. Thalamus, hypothalamus, caudate nucleus. Fourth is lentiform nucleus. Together they are known as corpus striatum. Fifth is, you got the fourth. It is just 1, 2, 3 beside that fourth. Now fifth area. Fifth is just near to 2 area. Fifth, claustrum. 6 is amygdaloid nuclear complex. Above 4, 5, and 6 together form basal nuclei, basal ganglia. These three take part actively in programming and planning of body movements. Programming and planning of the body movements are under the control of which area? 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Internal capsule, seventh part. All ascending tracts and descending tracts pass through it. Which is that? Internal capsule. That is 7 number part. I have tried that just back side of the 5. There is 7 number part. Then 8, corona radiata. These are the group of axons which looks like a spreading sun rays. These are tracts which enter into cerebral cortex through internal capsule. Corona radiata, 8 number part. 9 number, commissure, present between 2 lateral cerebral hemisphere. 9 number. And 10 number, corpus callosum. See this, callosum. Corpus callosum, a structure made up of nerve fibers at the bottom of cerebrum, to which both the lateral cerebrum are connected. This is corpus callosum. The different parts of cerebrum are connected to each other through this corpus callosum, which we have studied already. Now the 11 is geniculate bodies. Geniculate bodies is 11 area. This is also the relay station of spatial nerve fibers like ganglion. These are of 2 types, medial geniculate body and the lateral geniculate body. Medial is a relay station for auditory nerve fibers and lateral for relay station for visual pathways, auditory and visual. They are under the control of 11 number area, geniculate bodies. Okay, medial and lateral geniculate body. These are the 11 number area, Broca's areas. And 12 is habenular area nuclei. Thalamus has a group of nerve cells which receive deep afferent fibers from thalamus, olfactory, tubercle, and pharynx. These are different areas again. The cortex of forebrain is numbered according to the region out of which these are the main. Which are they? Now you have to remember these main areas. 1, 2, 3. Area number 1, 2, 3. Area of receiving sense from all parts of the body except spatial organs, spatial senses. Okay. That is called as the sensory cortex. because it receives the sense from all parts of the body. Okay, area number 1, 2, 3. Now remember area number 4, 5, 4, 6 and 7, 8. 4, 6 and 8. The area from where all the parts of the body gets order from the brain. So except spatial senses, again, motor, it is called as a motor cortex. So sensory cortex is 1, 2 and 3 area, and motor cortex is 4, 6 and 8 number area. Okay. Now area number 9, 10, 11 and 12, these are the seat of intelligence. How much intelligence a person is having is defined by these areas. Area number 9, 10, 11 and 12 in the brain. Now area number 7 is for visual area, spatial department, visual area. Area number 18 and 19, it's a visio-psychic area. Visio-psychic means our psychological changes according to visual perception. Area number 20, 21 and 22 are auditory and audio-psychic areas. Our perception according to audio listening, hearing. According to that, our perception or our responses of the body are there, or psychological responses. Auditory and audio psychic areas, 20, 21 and 22. Now area number 23 and 24, and again you can add 28 and 33 in this. 23, 24, 28 and 33. They are called as a Broadman area, which controls the cingulate gyrus. These are especially used for spatial recognition or phonological processing. Phonological means anybody is speaking something. Okay, that phone, that audio is percepted by this sense, this thing, this Broadman area. 23, 24, 28 and 33. Okay, which gives the conscious response to unpleasant experiences. Means some unpleasant thing is happening. So to respond to that unpleasant thing is under the control of these 23, 24, 28 and 33 area number. And fear and avoidance of negative stimuli. Any negative stimuli is coming to us, negative stimuli. Somebody is speaking wrong things which are not proper. So it's a negative stimuli is coming. The fear or avoidance of that negative stimuli is under the control of this 23, 24, 28 and 33 area, Broadman area. And memory is also related to these areas. Memory, fear and avoidance of negative stimuli. And the third is conscious response to unpleasant experiences. These three. Then area number 39 and 40. These are the sensory speech area. Sensory speech areas, which are used for spatial recognitions. Means in which area, last time we have studied, in which area to guess that area or location, and to remember that this area is very important. 39 and 40, sensory speech area. And area number 41 and 42, these are the auditory sensory area. Auditory sensory means any sense by voice or sound, that is auditory sensory area. Then area number 44 and 45 is the speech area. Speech. Okay, there are this is a primary speech area actually, and the 39 and 40 are called as the secondary speech area. Okay, which generating this last, the 44 and 45 area number is called as speech area. The speech area which generates the word associated with the noun, they determine the word. Okay, means any word. I want these things. or my name is so and so. So my so and so. These two sentences are different. If you ask me, what is your name? So to ask this, there is one verb, one noun, and one adjective. Everything should be in a proper manner. That adjusting the sentence in a proper manner is recognized and uttered, recognized and determine that these verb, noun, adjective in the sentences are to be formed in this fashion. That recognition power is under the control of this 44 and 45 area, speech area. What is your name? Like this. Otherwise, somebody, if they are having fault with this 44 and 45 area, speech area, what he will speak? What your name? What name? Like that. What is your name? One verb, adjective, noun, everything is arranged in a fashion. So it becomes a complete sentence. My name is so and so. Otherwise, my so, or like this, means he cannot form a sentence in a proper fashion. So this is related to that speech area. It gives that determination powers, word determination power. Okay, so today up to this, we will have.
Sir, in
See.
acupressure, can we control these areas? Can we tonify or sedate these areas?
See what happens now. In acupressure, whether it is Ayurvedic acupressure or TCM, we all have to do the treatment on the hand and foot only, fingers.
Yes.
Complete hand on both ventral and dorsal aspect. So these are very small, tiny, different areas. Related to that, we have to understand TCM. So according to TCM, where is our these all the areas? On the top.
Yeah.
Brain is here only, and the back side of the brain is here on this side.
Yeah.
According to TCM.
Yeah.
So we can treat all these things by applying the magnets here only. Our system is limited to this. I am telling about the different system, which we already have studied in acupuncture. It's a very elaborate science again. It's the same. But the treatment with this acupressure areas is same as that of that. But it's a special thing. Like somebody can directly treat here with the help of scalp, using scalp, these different areas on the scalp, and directly they can treat there, especially in the paralysis part. But in our acupressure, we can treat here only, on the brain part, or some, according to TCM, related to some different points. On the heart, on the triple warmer, or brain and spinal cord. The spinal cord is backside, whole thing. Okay, you are not finding lateral view. On the page number 178, both the diagrams they have mentioned. Lateral view upside,
12.
and this is mid.
She is asking 12 region in the lateral view. 10, 11 is there, 12 is not there shown.
Okay, see, they have mentioned some areas only, not all the areas. Why? Because they have cut the section from here. On the lateral area, which part are seen, those only are being mentioned here. And in the medial view, means suppose I have cut the brain from this side, and I am seeing this lateral side and medial side now from here, half of the brain. This is lateral view of the brain, and this is medial view of the brain. This much I can see. But in between that, there are also some part of the brain in the medial aspect and in the lateral aspect. In between both of them, there are some part which is remained inside the brain. Okay, that belongs, this means that part belongs these areas. These areas are there. We cannot look from the lateral view or from the medial view. They are in between that. So you have to understand This is a lateral view. This is medial view and this is lateral view. In between that, there may be some areas. So that's why they have not mentioned those numbers here. Okay. You have to just understand that those areas are present there. So what I was saying, so in Ayurvedic acupressure, if you go, we are treating all this brain related problem with the help of 10 systems only, this Dashotpatti. Okay. So we can treat all these things with the acupressure also.
Okay. Thank you.
But the treatment should be in time. Then only it is positive thing will happen. Because in paralysis cases or anything happens to the brain, this should be within that time. Otherwise, if it becomes chronic case, then the result will be very delayed results will be there. So tomorrow we will see these next 3 pages only, from 181 to 186. Autonomic nervous system. Now we have come to the spinal cord now, sympathetic and parasympathetic. That we will cover tomorrow, and then in the next week we will have 12th chapter, that is spatial sense organs, and the next lecture, that is the lymphatic system. Okay, the next week, and the next week is integumentary, only one. But we will see. Okay, it is almost 7:47. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Just read it. The terms, different terms are very much hard to utter even. So to pronounce even. So you have to read it again and again. These are very simpler terms, but if you will repeat it again and again, you will enjoy these terms. But it's a very simple.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.